Page 6 now, Trump immigration enforcement. Now there are 20. 20 vendors have been chosen as finalists to build the wall down at the border. Good. But in Detroit, not so good. Following immigration law is being met by pushback from the liberal left. Jose Luis Sanchez Raquillo is an illegal alien who was slated for deportation. But not if local residents can stop it.
Donald Trump has got to go. Donald Trump has got to go.
They want him deported because he's undocumented, but he was working towards citizenship in the United States and doing his yearly check-in with ICE when he was told that he was going to be deported.
We just learned from the court that the judge will not issue a ruling today, and until he issues that ruling, Jose Luis Sanchez Raquillo cannot be deported. The stay on his deportation remains. So that's very, very good news for us. It gives us time that we need desperately to be able to seek another appeal before this.
Now, this alien was originally ordered deported 5 years ago, but of course, under Obama, never happened. And this anti-law enforcement pushback is not just happening in blue states. There are liberals in red states who are also actively trying to circumvent federal immigration law. Joining me now from Washington, D.C., Bureau Chief for Rebel Media, Jack Posobiec. Jack, an example of that would be Arizona. There are people in Arizona right now, which is a red state, who are working to encourage people to violate our sovereignty.
Yeah, and that's the same kind of thing. We're seeing these cultural Marxism type ideas come into our culture and into our society. And the basic right of sovereignty of a country is borders and who can be in our country and who can't. That if we don't have borders, we don't have a country. Isn't that so much what Donald Trump campaigned on in 2016 that people wanted to turn back and say, look, do we have a country or not? Do we have a border or not? Basic laws. We don't get to pick and choose. You and I don't get to pick and choose which laws we follow. I think that should be applied for everybody else.
And so these are students in Arizona who are saying, hey, come on across the border illegally?
Yeah, there's students in Arizona now, these colleges, they're raising money online to essentially encourage people to break the law. Personally, I have trouble raising online money if I'm just trying to go out for a trip.
Right.
You know, I don't understand how people are able to use these to break the law and get away with it.
Meantime, at UC Berkeley, parents, pay attention here because the money you're sending your kids is now being used to attack our Judeo-Christian heritage in this country.
Right, we're seeing this come out from UC Berkeley, which this same exact place where there's been so much violence lately from the left directed at the right, and you don't see anything from the university trying to uphold any of these rights when it's somebody on the right. What they do is they attack people on the left, they allow violence against people on the right, and they're simply trying to inculcate these students, again, with this cultural Marxism stuff.
And they're spending more than $2 million to build a gender-neutral locker room on Berkeley?
Hey, can you imagine that? The idea of a gender-neutral locker room. We've had so many issues in the past. Whatever happened to talking about rape on campus? So if we're going to have an issue where we're going to say, hey, we want to protect people, both men, both women, we want to protect students. People are sending their kids there, paying how much in tuition these days, and now we're going to have gender-neutral bathrooms. They haven't thought through all of the implications of what comes with that.
Maybe they have. The FCC, the FCC commissioner, it's a rather benign job to most people, but not right now. If you're a Jeep Pie, and you better be ready because the liberal left is after you.
Ajit Pai, the amount of racism and vitriol attacked at this guy, Indian American, heading up the FCC, and it's being directed by none other than John Oliver. He's telling his followers to go and comment on this guy. They're saying horrible things. They're calling him a dothead. They're calling him brown, everything under the sun, all because He wants to enforce the laws of our country, and he wants to deregulate things to get businesses moving better in the field of FCC.
That's what he's doing right now as we speak. He's undoing net neutrality, which I say is a good thing because it returns us closer to the free markets. I think it's exactly what Ronald Reagan would do. Jack, thank you. Coming up next, an open message to the president to stay the course as the Daily Ledger continues.